So for this video, we're going to talk about how to complete the steps to reunify a child with their parents in Trails. So this is the documentation part of reunification. So once you're in your workload, you're going to find the case in which you want to reunify the child with their parents in Trails. So I'm going to pick the Briars case and bring them into focus by clicking on the Show button over here. So once I'm into the Briars case itself, in order to end the service authorization, that's the first step that we're going to want to do, we want to go into this tab on the secondary toolbar called Service Provider. So we're going to click on that, and then you're actually going to need, if there are multiple children like you see here, you're going to need to repeat these steps for each individual child. So for the purpose of this microburst video, we're only going to end the service authorization and the removal for Janessa. So Janessa's in focus, so I'm going to click on Show, and we know that we're in Janessa's part of the file because it's listed over here. And so the first step that we want to do is to end the service authorization. So we've already clicked on Service Provider, and next we're going to click on the Service Authorization tab in the secondary toolbar here, and that brings Janessa in focus. She's been in placement with Mabel Walnut's foster family home for a while now. So the only thing that we need to do is go down here and put the end date. So I'm going to put today's date, which is June 14th, 2017, and then I'm going to hit change theoretically. I had to hit the tab button first. So we also need to include the leave reason because that's yellow, and a yellow field means it's mandatory. So I'm going to click on Child Return Home right here, although you do have multiple options in this drop-down box where you can scroll down and look for different reasons. So Child Return Home, and then I'm going to click Change to save my work. It does give us a friendly reminder that we also need to update the legal custody status and date, if appropriate, and then close the removal. So I'm going to click on OK, and then in order to do what Trails is asking me, I'm going to go over to removal here in a minute. So you can see the removal tab over here at the top in the secondary toolbar. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to put the removal end date, June 14th, 2017. So you may be asking yourself, why am I entering the date twice? And why am I entering the removal end reason? And the reason for that is one is to close the removal in Trails, and the second is to close the service authorization since the foster parents have been getting paid. So as you can see, there's lots and lots of options. I'm going to click on Reunification with Parents, and then just like Trails reminded me, I need to go over to this tab and change the legal custody status from the Department of Human Services back to the parents. And again, you have lots of options for this particular area of Trails, and you're going to pick the one that is most appropriate. So I'm going to click on Parental Custody, and let's say we had court earlier today, so I'm going to put today's date as well. Then I'm going to hit the Change button to save my work, and then you have completed the two pieces to end the service authorization, as well as ending the removal, as well as updating the legal custody status. So we're almost done. What we're going to need to do is go back to workload and go into the FSP, the family information part 1, because we now want to go in and update the child's permanency goal. Previously it was return home, and now we want it to be remain home. And let's set that today's date, 6/14/2017. And if you're wondering on a target date, you actually have some flexibility here. Essentially, you could pick the child's 18th birthday if you wanted to, but just for the purpose of today's video, I'll just say 6/14, I'll say 2040, because she'll be way over 18 by then. And click on Change. And as just a reminder, you would go back in and repeat these steps for her brother Samuel, as well as her younger sister Trinity. So all the steps that we've gone through today in the microburst video would need to be completed for all 3 children. And one last tip, as you are completing the steps to reunify a child with their parents in trails, more specific to ending the service authorization, ending the removal, and updating the legal custody status. Be sure to check with your county because, again, you may be filling this information out directly, or you may be providing this information to another staff member who will then end your service authorization, end the removal, and update the legal custody status. So be sure you know this piece. Generally, caseworkers will update the permanency goal because that one is really easy. And that's it for this video today.